Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild. I have to record because I kind of realized that I'm doing something that maybe warrants recording and I didn't. And so I I want to work more on this, and that's why I kind of need to show this off now, then work more on it, and so you are involved in the process of kind of making this. I'm right now I'm watching another YouTube creator that is called Newfang, that is doing space engineers videos, and he's doing crazy stuff, and I kind of got to watch him because he was doing a lot of vector thrust stuff, and I have to say I need to get back into this. There's a new, so somebody took the vector thrust 2 and made it into vector thrust OS by just grabbing it with it seems with 1WSX10 Vermilion being okay with it and just worked more on it, and I definitely will have to test that more. But Newfang is doing crazy stuff with a lot of landing gears and hover, so the frictionless wheel hovercrafts, and I needed to take a deeper look into his landing gears, his stuff. He's doing moving things, and I kind of always just don't do that because it's dangerous. And maybe I need to get over this and start trying to incorporate more moving landing gears, more moving stuff into builds. And I kind of started out with this. I want to have these landing gears for this flyer or this ship I'm building. I talked to you about this in the last episode, that I want to have something to pick up scrap from the bottom of the ravine and to fly out to the different mining outposts and collect the stuff. I hope this is not too loud. I realized that the sound and the music was very loud the last time. I'm still running into a lot of drones that constantly fly overhead. You can see, by the way, I took out the weapons. It's a good thing, but it still is flying. This thing will just fly right over the base and then maybe fall somewhere there. It's just, these things hold so much. I have put out more turrets, more Gatling turrets. I brought in ammo, and still these things keep flying. It is just amazing. Space Engineers, when it comes to weapons, is just off. I need an autocannon turret or something like that. Something to put out more damage. Okay, back to the thing at hand. Yeah, and I want to have a ship that is able to land, that I can use as a drone or I can use with a cockpit. That's why there is a remote control on board, camera, and a high range antenna. By the way, I'm looking for, and I want to grab that, small grid 1x1 laser antenna that I saw, that I definitely want to grab, because maybe some of these things should get laser antennas too. So, and again, I want to have some, I don't know, some landing gear that don't know, does something. What are you doing? Okay. I messed it up. Okay. So the whole thing, the whole thing has cargo containers. It needs to have a lot of thrust, and I want to put built-in repair systems here and in here, I thought having them here would be nice, but then they're in the way of the landing gears. I will add some lasers to it too on the outside here that also are just set to shoot the weapons of stuff, so that immediate threat is kind of removed. That's definitely what I want to have. Why is this not moving the way it is supposed to? So I've set that up with a few hinges that mostly are turned off. There's just these named hinges that are really moving the whole thing. Everything else is there for stability and then locking into place and just clamping down on the whole thing. I hope that... Okay, the hinge lock is the problem. So the whole thing is set up with some timers that are sitting here that are running when I press the button for now, and just spread the legs. Ugh, that sounds awful. Bring the legs out and then lock down so that hopefully I don't get a lot of trouble with subcrits. The problem with my world and maybe other people's worlds is that my world is really bad and old, and it might be that this will not fly, that I will have to change that. That's why I usually go for the safer route of having them attached to the body itself. But man, I saw so much cool stuff that I kind of... I need to get into that. So I will work more on this, and it's just... why? I will work more on this and get the other side ready, then come back to you, and we will do a first test with the thrusters, land that, and then I will think about doing maybe some... I don't know, maybe some stuff with vector thrust or something like that. We will see how that works out. Good. Let me work on this. Okay, we will do it on camera, just for now. So, what I do is, and one thing that I really like about the hinges is they show directions really well. So with rotors, you kind of have to, with the numbers it works, but with rotors you have to be kind of exact how to place them. Then with the heads, because the bottom part kind of is the thing that gives out the direction. So you could end up with having stuff fall apart and fall to clang because you rotated stuff wrong. With hinges, it's relatively easy to figure out where what needs to be. Hinges have this nice, and I will take a look. I think I pointed it outwards. Yes, I did. Hinges have these nice to see these stripes down there. I can't really point to it. There's stripes up there and down there. I point them outward to get the same directions. So even if I would turn both hinges on, I could set the settings for both hinges the same, have both of them turn out or in, or however I want that. I just usually use the bottom one, and we can go minus. That's how the others work too, and it puts the whole thing into the minus 23%. Lower limit for the other ones is 24, so that's what we go for. In setting this, I can keep the whole thing from hitting the ship itself. So do this, and the others are set to I think 3 RPM. I will bring that thing out again. So, and then I remove the piston head, because pistons, that's not pistons, the hinge head. Hinges have this cool thing, and we did that now multiple times, where you basically, and that's not easy with rotors, and with hinges it's so much easier to just put a hinge head in here, have that sit in there, and now you can just immediately attach it. If I would get the right thing to... Why are you not pointing at the right thing? Now we just attach it, and now the cool thing would be that this is attached now, so these two hinges, and it sits perfectly, by the way. That's a cool thing with rotors. You end up sometimes have them sit crooked in whatever they're in and all that stuff. It's doing this stuff with hinges, attaching other small subgrids to it, and then it's so much easier with hinges. And now the cool thing is we could set this hinge to the same settings and it would work out, because I figured out this, or I have the directions set the right way. I do that with the bottom ones too. These are the ones that lower the landing gear to the bottom. Rotors have the numbers. You could do that with the numbers too. So I think, let me see, do the small rotors have the numbers too? Yeah. So with the numbers you could do the same and put it in the right place. I think with the hinges it's a bit easier to do that. So with rotors, if you don't set the right direction, so everything, for example, needs to be 0 in the same direction, kind of, you could end up with shearing that stuff apart, because the rotor head tries to attach in a way where it sits in the right direction. It's a weird thing. This whole thing is directional, and it might end exploding things. I had that, and it could be that it is updates and updates ago where they maybe changed the whole thing, but I had things shear apart because the directions weren't set the right way. So keep that in mind. So column, I want this to look, yeah, really like an insect, kind of. Something I never did, for example, for the ornithopter, the first ornithopters I built. Again, it's, for me, this is terrifying. This is something I usually wouldn't do, because it's prone to completely fall apart, and I definitely don't want to have that. So put in another hinge head, attach. Come on, weld that up, please. Thank you. We will attach again. Should be attached. So what I then usually do is turn. See, it wasn't attached. Ugh. Okay, now RP rippens into the other direction. Why? Turn the block on.
Fuel low.
Rippens.
Fuel critical.
Space engineers, let me grab some hydrogen. The problem is I have just turned off my speakers, and then I can't hear her warnings. Let me refill this. So now let's hope this finally attaches. I'm wondering. So now it attached. Good. So what I usually then do is turn off these hinges because they are not needed. And if you just turn them off, this thing can do its job and can push that into the direction you want, and it stays level all the time. So the lower limit should be... What did I say for the other levels? I have to look this up. I really should write that down. Minus 22 and 16. So minus 22 means it goes 22 degrees down and 16 degrees up, so that it gets this look where the legs are basically a bit more tucked up. We'll go. I'm doing this with Build Vision, by the way. Build Vision makes stuff like this a lot easier because you can just do it in game or on the HUD. You don't need to. I think I've set that to 5. So reverse. Nice. So this again, this is how I want this. 8. Put the landing gear on there and just repeat the whole thing. And it's also a thing where I shouldn't be lazy. Again, other people do crazy stuff with that, and the guy that I'm watching, he's putting out a lot of very, very creative builds. Just don't know, every day something small, and there's cool stuff in there because again, he's doing cool stuff with vector thrust, and I had my fair share of doing stuff with vector thrust too, and I kind of want to go back to that. And he also does these small rovers, small hover somethings that move and have flappy things on it. It's crazy, and I kind of want to take inspiration from that and do a bit of the same stuff to, don't know, nearly 1,000 episodes in, to be a bit more easy with that, and hopefully not have too much broken things and exploding things, and hopefully the world will just be nice to me and accept that that I for once want this whole thing to work. Okay, this is upper limit is 0. We will set that now so that everything is set, and the lower limit is minus, I think, 24. We can later just adjust that. I need to name the whole thing. This is, by the way, I should name that now. In Build Vision, you can also just name things by putting that in here. This is left front up. No, this is left front in out. 1. This is left front up down 1. So this one needs to be turned off, by the way. I will attach that again. Come on. Come on. Why are you not? I pointed at the right thing there. Sometimes Build Vision is not doing what it is supposed to do, so bear with it then, I would say. Yeah, I will repeat the whole process here and then come back to you. By the way, you can see still a lot of enemies around. It's crazy going out there with something this large around. I think the assertives also kind of recognize the amount of PCU or something in the area and then start to spawn. I'm not happy with this. Good, let me do this side and then we do a bit of a test if the whole landing gear holds up. I have all four legs done now. That's what I wanted to say. Mixing in German doesn't really help. I made a bit of a security feature that I'm so impressed by myself. So with multiple button presses, I could mess up the whole function of the whole thing. So I brought in a security feature that turns off the button as long as this moves and turns it back on when it is done. So now no mess ups anymore. And the cool thing is it's related to a timer. So press this. This timer is off because that's the start timer and everything else that is on. So I hopefully can't mess up the whole settings anymore. That's a good thing. Now I can, by the way, cut off this button. I don't need that anymore. Now we do a flight test. I hope everything works and nothing is too heavy for anything here. Maybe we should put the whole landing gear on this thing. And can I see it from the outside? No, the base is just too big. Oh, there's too much going on right now. That's not good. There's a lot of lag coming in right now. Let me fix that problem first. So the big problem with removing grids and all that stuff and the rest that is just staying around is the spoils of war are gone, but I'm pretty sure I will accumulate new ones really, really fast. Let's cut this off and see if it flies. It doesn't. Yeah, the subgrids might be too much for the whole thing. It could be, and that's one thing you always have to kind of account for, is that the subgrids really bring down thrusters and all that stuff. I might have to see if some thrusters on the subgrids themselves can maybe help. We'll see, but first I want to kind of see if this thing is landable and if it can stand on its own feet without flying through the platform or something like this. Okay, ugh. Every time it locks, this happens. It goes bonkers. And I'm pretty sure that's due to it being complicated, the whole thing. Space Engineers is just not made for stuff like that. That subgrids are sitting on normal grids and holding on to them. It's just Space Engineers is not up for that. It absolutely doesn't like that. Maybe vector thrust can really help with that. The last time vector thrust got an update, it counteracted all this stuff. So maybe we can get rid of that. Let us make a comprehensive test and see if just putting on all the thrust in the world maybe helps. It's ridiculous, but maybe it does something for us. We will just put on some small thrusters. I can't do anything for for the lines there. I hope that don't know, maybe this counteracts everything. We will see. It could help. This could help out. Maybe. I see that the thrusters are still doing crazy stuff. We have enough power for that, so that's a good thing. It helps. It definitely helps. Take a look at this. It's stable now. Relatively stable. So the maybe it is enough if we put it on the feet there. Maybe that's the big issue. The feet that are sitting outward. We can take a look at this. Ugh. See, even with a hinge lock, it is still mighty wobbly. Mighty wobbly. But at least we have fixed the downward thrust. And that's something that space engineers had figured out a while ago. It could be one of the typical things with updates just taking away the nice stuff that we got. So let me do something and see if we can figure out the center of mass of that thing. So center of mass is somewhere there. I would like to maybe move that somewhere in the middle again, so that I can have some maybe some vector thrust going, because with vector thrust I would have to now put it somewhere here so that it is balanced. Maybe I can move it a bit back so that we don't run into this problem, and then maybe cutting off the thrusters again helps out. Why are you firing like crazy? Just stop that. Good. Yeah, now these ones are doing, the side ones are doing crazy stuff because they still think they're moving. Good. Let me try to figure something out. I'm not sure how the new thing works. It seems to be close to the other thing, and I still have control module and all that stuff installed, so we don't need to do all the crazy stuff with the whole vector thrust script, but I kind of want to see if we can get something nice to work there. One thing that it can do, and that I want to test out, is that it uses hinges too. So maybe we can avoid a lot of the rotor stuff and can go and do some work with hinges maybe, instead of doing too much crazy stuff with rotors. But we will see how that turns out in the end. Let me do some more work. Yeah, I sound like I'm doing a YouTube apology video. I have to come to the realization that it's not the right thing to use. It works remarkably. I think I need to get rid of the control module because I can't turn anything on or off or whatsoever. Even with the settings, I got rid of all the other thrusters. It's just it gets larger than it should be. I had the thrusters on the outside before, and then you have a whole mass shaking the whole thing. The landing gear doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't. It stopped working for some reason, and it flies. But I have to say, it is it works better than the vector thrust before. I can make more settings now with having the programmable block have all the nice settings you can do somewhere in here. I can bring this up if the whole thing gets the rotor stabilization multiplier. I can bring that up to see if that helps with the weight of the whole thing, but it is just not. It doesn't work that well with this heavy thing, and I should have known that. I know that this stuff doesn't work for these crazy heavy flyers. The big problem that I immediately have is that everything kind of again stopped working. The landing gear just doesn't do anything. It doesn't move even, because I think the whole thrust isn't balancing it out right, and I will go to a normal thruster setup. I'm, as much as I like vector thrust, but I think going with one clang source is enough. It should be enough for now. So we'll remove that. Go to normal thrusters. I will use some atmospheric thrusters for now. I later might update the whole thing with some hydrogen thrusters, maybe, so that we can hopefully fly into space too. Another thing that kind of messed with me is that the vector thrust kind of set itself up to use the cockpit as the main controller, and I definitely want to be able to use the remote control block too. So we will go again a normal thruster setup, and then I will maybe try to make a nice five. Where are you going? Oh no, it's going over the edge. That's not good. What are you doing? Now the whole thing is interesting. Flying this thing became a lot more interesting right now. I have thrusters on one side. Now we see how good my piloting skills are. I should have known this because it is the subgrids doing stuff again. Okay, setting this down now. You come on. I'm pressing forward thrust. I don't have any forward thrust. I don't have any. Bring that down now. And then turn off the dampers. That works now. So, woo! See, I still have it in me. We need some. What do I go with now? I might set this up just for now. I need to think about how to set up the the thrusters. One thing I want to know is if the whole... if my whole gear setup works again. Oh, I nearly crashed into that. Because again, I kind of had the big problem. Hey, another thing. Do you notice something? It's not going down. So let us see if the hinges... I've turned off the hinge lock, so it even worked with that. I need to... the up and down ones, reverse them. Something is absolutely not right with that. I hope that everything is still attached. Control velocity, invert input. Okay, that's for a completely another thing. Okay, it's the... That's, by the way, another thing that kind of... the thing decided that... or not the thing... Vector Thrust kind of decided that... No, you don't get any... you don't get any velocity on your setup there anymore. Why am I having trouble with that? The blocks are turned on. I will try to figure this out. I'm really not sure what's happening there. I hate this. I hate this. Maybe that's the reason why the thing is now hovering without any issues. I think I will go the... Let us go the... this route. We will... Sometimes it is better to just do this. It could be that there's just an issue with everything not working anymore because of some game hiccups. Up, down, reverse. Nope. Good. I need to figure this out. Let me do some more work, and I will come back hopefully with, don't know, a result here. That was weirdly easier than I thought, although it took a bit. It turned all the other hinges on. And I didn't see that really. That's what happened there. It turned them on, and so my meticulously turned off hinges just didn't do what they were supposed to do. And again, one weird thing is now the whole lifting part works. And I'm... Oh, okay. Yeah. I did that on... I purposefully have set it up that way. And the whole lifting part, maybe it was not enough thrust, up thrust. I might need to set up the atmospheric thrusters a bit crazier. Thrust multiply, maybe we go to just 5, so that if I'm rolling, the whole thing doesn't then get dragged down, because now this is absolutely perfect. This is how I want this to be, kind of. I'm really happy with this. It is sometimes a good thing not to go with stuff that is too complicated. Having the landing gear on here is already a thing that gives it a bit of a nice complication. So I will see if I can at least work with a few more moving parts and make it a bit nicer that way. Let me put some more work in, and then I will come back to you with, I don't know, something. We will see how that works out in the end. I think saying that I want to put some subgrids on it and to finally do, I don't know, some fancy stuff with it. I don't know. Maybe that's not my forte, and I usually then go overboard. And so I gave it some bug-like wings and stuff like that. So there's more movement in there now than there should be. I don't know, it's kind of like now the scavenger beetle that just roams around and brings in stuff and grabs materials and all that jazz. So what we can do now is get it flying, fold in everything, and then just dive into the chasm, the ravine, the hole here, and then just take a look what's there and grab that up. I already did some of these runs, and I'm pretty happy with it. The whole thing is very strong, is able to defend itself, and yeah, can do the whole picking up materials. For now, I really don't need a lot more stuff because the drones still come in like crazy. And that's just from that's, by the way, I'm on the next day. So there's 24 hours between the last recording and this one, and I'm just you can see that there's so much stuff down here that is just lying around, even on the other side of the ravine there, and I could just spend hours here just flying around here, grabbing all that stuff, then flying away with it again. The whole thing now works really, really nice, and I don't know if it gives it the look of that it just spreads itself out, opens up the hatches so that you can get to all the parts. The wings give it a bit of protection from whatever is, don't know, flying above it. Not too much. By the way, it's still very, very open. I don't know, I'm kind of happy with it. I don't know if it fits, if it is anything style-wise. And by the way, the paint job, I went with, don't know, trying to do tone in tone, so two different really dark shades of gray, but I'm not totally happy with it, and I'm sure I will still build with it. But I have to admit that I really like the panels, the armor panels, as a building material. I don't know. They are light. They can give the whole thing some shape, and I'm happy with this. Again, I don't know if a beetle is the way to go. Maybe I should have sticked to a vector thrust vehicle, but the thing with vector thrust is I think the whole thing should be smaller than. Let me murder this thing here, because this thing still tries to move, so maybe we stop it from doing that. The good thing is now I get materials, so there's usually relatively good stuff in here. And going, oh no, 8 and 9. I have a throw out setup that just throws out the materials that I get. I've set up some collectors up there to maybe catch. Yeah, I don't have a connector yet, so I might have to improvise with that and get that going to bring out the materials. Here, there's neat stuff in there that I now don't need to produce. I can just catch it from the drones, but I will go back up to the landing pad. I did some work there too, because some drones just decided that it is a good idea to just crash into the ships. I nearly lost this ship. The truck got hit like crazy. And I definitely need that truck again. I need to make some more runs to build things. I kind of decided against this thing being something that goes out there. The truck is still, I think, the better way to deal with going out and bringing in. And not bringing in, making the mining stations. So this thing can definitely grab from the mining stations. So I already removed some parts or changed some parts over on one of the stations out there, and this thing is able to just grab hundreds of kilos or liters of materials from there. So brought in some magnesium. I'm pretty happy with that. So the main thing was I had to put kind of a roof above some stuff. This thing doesn't need a roof because it has shields, and kind of having I can't put this under a roof. It doesn't make real sense right now. It might not look too good, but it is definitely needed. The drones still heavily crash into everything. Why are you breaking this up? 7. It is the build and repair again. Build and repair is constantly messing with. Ugh. No, no. It's constantly messing with the things. So I'm okay. If you have built-in repairs going on, I need landing gears. I need hinges. So if you have built-in repair going on, a bar system, there's a setting. I will show that to you. That you should definitely turn off if stuff is just sitting somewhere for you. Because, so let us go to one of the built-in repair systems. So the built-in repair system has these settings: janitor grinds enemy blocks, janitor grinds not owned blocks, janitor grinds neutral blocks. These settings you should usually have when you just have it around the base. Turn the janitor grinds not owned blocks, turn that off, because that will mess with your grid, the grid that it's on. Sometimes it will grind down blocks on your grids because I don't know, it's maybe an issue with the game or with the build and repair system itself. It kind of messes up there and sometimes sees blocks that clearly are yours as not yours. And you should be careful with that. Mods are mods, so just so you know, if you have vanishing blocks and you're using the built-in repair system, look into that. It might be that. Oh, did I? Yes. Let me repair this. Come on. And attach. Toggle block off. And a landing gear. So it doesn't seem to do that when the build and repair system has something to grind. But I had already holes in the wings, and you saw that it just removed this landing gear. It is clearly there. It is clearly on the whole build, but it says nah, maybe not. Good. Let's paint this up and go back to that. Good. Again, I wait for your suggestions when it comes to that. Is the beetle a thing we can go with? I'm not sure if it fits into the world, but on the other hand, the world is such a mess that having a beetle in here can't be really bad. I will build a bit more on it. Again, I built yesterday a few hours on it, and today, so it's not finished as always with my stuff. So I have some nice things. One thing that I really like, it gives the feeling of when it is in flight that it is kind of a bit more armored, a bit more protected, so that when it opens up, it then is less protecting itself. Don't know. It would be a thing where you open up the whole thing to do maintenance or repairs or something like that. You suddenly see more of the internal workings, kind of. It's a nice thing. By the way, when I want to tuck it away, I tested it out. I can fly it into the base itself. So down here, it works. Oh, it works here. I can fly it into this hangar if I want. Give it a bit of protection, but I made the whole roof so high that we can also just put it underneath the roof. Really liking this. It doesn't fit to any of the style that I maybe wanted to go with here, but I will keep it that way, I think. Good. The next time I want to keep on moving, I think. Go and I will do some more work with the cobalt node out there. I have this iron node tapped into. Maybe try to find a nickel thing. I have a gold thing close by. I will maybe in the meantime set these up, and then I will see if the next time we go and maybe equip the beetle or the bug with some hydrogen and go off to space and see what's going on there. And then, because we are close by, we are close to... Where is it? Where is it? I can't see it now. Oh, we are close by Object 85. Maybe do a bit of a visit there, take a look if something is broken. All that stuff that is still to come, but maybe something comes up in the meantime that we need to finish. I don't want to stay forever everywhere. So, good people, but I think that's all for today. I hope you liked this episode. Give me an opinion on the bug or the beetle or the scarab or however we want to call it, and let me know what you think of it. And I would say I hope to see you in the next video. See ya, guys.